So, what shall we talk about today? Should we talk about how I'm a Gemini? Or that I am part man, part machine?
That is nice. I am like Darth Vader.
Nah man, we're here to talk about games.
Mash Mikey Gaming.
G'day all you mad gamers, I'm Mad Mikey, I come from the land down under, and welcome to Mondays, affectionately known as Why I Love. The series where I start talking about why I love a certain series of something, why I love certain games, why I love consoles, which is what I've been doing the last couple of weeks. So new subscribers, which I've had a plenty of today, thank you very much guys, I appreciate it. And all you old ones who've been there from the start and in between, thank you very much. All your feedback always means a world to me. And if you don't subscribe yet, what are you waiting for? And don't forget to tell your old man, tell your mother, tell your brother, tell your sister, tell your cousin Nico, and tell all your friends about Mad Mikey Gaming, because they might like games. And all I ask is, I know you've got 2 thumbs, I only want 1 thumb, so don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I've sort of changed this Monday show from getting to know Mad Mikey now to Why I Love, so it's sort of the same thing, because the Beatles had it right, didn't they? All you need is love. So, the first game, if you watched over on Instagram, which I have teased just a little bit, is Silent Hill. To retro gaming collectors, this is a well-known thing, and when the original Metal Gear Solid game came out on the PlayStation 1 from Konami, a game that I didn't really know much about, but I do owe a lot to my love of storytelling in games to this game. It came with a little game called, a little demo, a little PT, Silent Hill. Didn't think anything of it, didn't know anything about it, played it, and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is not right. So, I started reading up about it, and I'm like, this is friggin' amazing. This looks awesome. This is what I want. I want horror, because I love my horror. And I was like, this was one of the first games that I really anticipated. It was just something that I was reading up about in magazines whenever I got the chance. And I didn't pre-order it, but I went there on the friggin' day when it came out. I knew what day it was coming out. And then my love was born of Silent Hill. So this first one, whilst you may sort of play it on your current generation consoles, because you can get it backwards compatible on the PlayStation 3. It looks terrible, but this bad boy is going to make it look a lot better on my PlayStation console. It was just a game like none you'd ever seen before. Obviously, you had Resident Evil, and Resident Evil was obviously a big success, but Silent Hill just like turn that shit up to 12, and just for pure scare, pure just creepiness. This game had it all. There is not one time I can walk through a hospital where I do not hear that Silent Hill, or however you do it. It just creeps the hell out of me. Just walking down the halls. I don't know why I associate it with it. I suppose it was just sort of walking in the hospital in the first game, and then the school hallways and everything. But it was creepy as hell. And obviously, with the success of that, the inevitable was that there was going to be a number 2. Now, I missed number 2 for a very long time. A, because I didn't have a PlayStation 2, and that's obviously what it came out on. But I was lucky enough to have one of my mates come over and stay for a weekend, and he bought his PlayStation 2, and we were like, we are terrible at all these puzzles and everything, so we're just gonna, because I had my computer set up in my bedroom. I used to live out of my bedroom, and we will just read the walkthrough, and we're gonna finish this tonight. And we did. We wanted to get a certain ending too, I do have Resident Evil 2. It's just part of the collection. I haven't been able to find it. We went through and we wanted to get this certain ending. I can't remember what ending it was. I mean, this is going back a very long time now. And we kept playing, and we got to the end, and it was the dud ending. And we were like, what the hell what did we miss? And we read back, and it was just like one little thing that we missed from picking up that just decided the whole outcome of that ending that we so desperately wanted. And we just felt ripped off. We're like, no! And then obviously Silent Hill 3 came out. Now this was a game that I haven't had much or put much time into. But this is actually the true sequel, if you don't know, to the original Silent Hill. Because Silent Hill 2 took off on a different path, told a different story. You'll obviously see through while I'm talking about these games that they do sort of go inside, outside, out of your head and things like that. But Silent Hill 3, you play the character of the little daughter who was in the first one, and you start in a really creepy theme park, and this was one of the reasons I upgraded my PC once, because I actually downloaded it and wanted to play it, but it wouldn't play with it. You had to have a certain shader on your video card to be able to play it. Anyway, so I did that first bit. Then there's like a whole like shopping mall where it takes place with Heather, and then you obviously freaky shit happens as it always does in Silent Hill. And then you eventually get to Silent Hill, but I didn't sort of get anywhere past that because that was the days when I just bought, downloaded, maybe put in half an hour, and as soon as I get stuck, I'd go on to another game. Would have actually been on the PlayStation 2 and Silent Hill Origins. Again, not a game that I've put a lot of time into. I did originally have it on the PSP, and I did play it after an operation. I can't remember what operation it was. I've had a few. It was when I was trying to quit smoking too, because I didn't want to have a smoke. But yeah, anyway, long story short, I haven't played much of this just because it's on the PS2, and I've never had a CRT TV to play it on, which would make it look a whole lot better because they look terrible. So rest assured, this is going to be a game that I am going to play eventually. Then there was Silent Hill 4 The Room, which initially wasn't going to be a Silent Hill game, but it became so freaky and off center that they ended up making it Silent Hill 4. And I never made it to Silent Hill in this game, but I mean, you might sort of say, Mikey, why do you love these if you never finish them? Because A, I'm scared shitless of them, and B, I am crap at the puzzles and I need the walkthroughs for everything. Obviously, back in my day, you didn't just have your mobile phone to be able to look and just go to GameFAQs and do it like that. You had to print them out and shit like that, and that took time. But this one was really good. It had a bit more of a mature, sort of freaky feel to it. The graphics were a huge improvement, and just the way that your mind sort of spiraled out of control. It was really, really good. And then we had Silent Hill 5. Was it 5? Yeah, 5 Homecoming. Wasn't known to be the best of the series, and it's a very, very hard game. Like, the puzzles and everything in these games are ridiculous, and they're obviously well thought out. They're sick, they're twisted. I love them, but I'm just terrible at them. I get stuck and I'm just like, fuck it. But I really do. I aim to get through this series one way or another. I'm gonna get you. But this one, I did put in some time. It's a really awesome game. I don't know, like, I just love in this the nurses, like they did it really well. The nurses have always appeared in the games, and I think I got up to a bit in this game just where Pyramid Head showed up, and that was over. I couldn't beat him. I had no ammo, I had no weapons, or I had shit weapons, and it was just nut. But these are definitely all games. Like, I'm just looking at them thinking, shit, why have I not played these? Next up, a reimagining of the first one. Unfortunately, came out on the Wii. Yeah, that's right. But this is a reimagining of the first one. You feel there's a lot more sense of helplessness in this game, and you don't actually have many weapons. It's more of you've got to just run away from the darkness. I've probably played 20 minutes. I really want to get the PlayStation 2 version of this, or the PSP version. The PSP version you can't get on backwards on the Vita here in Australia. You can in America, which sucks because it's on their store. And I really want to play. I just want to play it with a controller, to be honest. Like the waggling, I'll probably get desperate enough that I will play it with it, but I hate the Wii modes. It's something terrible. But I love it how this sort of tries and psychs you with the psychologist in it, and it's always had good reviews, this game, so it sucks. Probably one of the ones that I've spent the most time with is Silent Hill Downpour. Downpour, I don't understand why this got so many bad reviews. I absolutely love this game, and I've put a shitload of time into it. I think I actually imported this one because I think it got banned, or they weren't releasing it in Australia, which it ended up doing, but they cut a bit out of it. It actually plays in 3D, so I've played quite a lot of this game also in 3D, and it actually adds a lot of awesomeness to it. It makes it look a whole lot better. The graphics on this were amazing. The story was amazing. The puzzles were a bit easier. Like, this was a bit more mainstream than the other ones. And it was a lot more action. That's probably why a lot of the purists, and it sort of spills onto, your Resident Evil games. Like, people, as soon as it got sort of action orientated, people just lost their minds and were like, no, well, that's not Resident Evil, that's not Silent Hill. Well, games need to evolve. They can't always be the same. And if they're not sort of selling many copies, they need to change it up. And it's such a niche game, horror games, that they do need to change it, and they need to make it action focused. Like, even with Resident Evil, like, I've finished 5, 6, and 7, and they're just, like, as I said, it's the puzzles. They just do my head in, and I'm not smart enough, and I know it, and I hate it. I've also got the PlayStation Vita game. Let's not talk about that. It's got some pretty cool things, but nah. It's not Silent Hill. And I would be remiss not to talk about the movies. I think the movies were fantastic. I think that they're probably the best game to movies series. Like, the fact that they did 2. Number 1 didn't really stick to the actual games. But number 2 sort of brought in Heather as one of the characters' kids and sort of really made it a lot better. But I love them both. It's probably my favorite game to movie series behind Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. But that's it, guys. Do you love the Silent Hill franchise as much as I do? I know it doesn't seem like I do because I haven't finished them, but I will. I promise you. I promise you I will finish these games. But do you love them? Do you have any fantastic memories? Do you have any nights where you pulled all-nighters like me and my mate? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell your mum, tell everybody. You know what I'm talking about. But guys, until tomorrow, where we're going to give the thoughts on whatever gaming news has come out. I'm Mad Mikey. As I said, I'm from the land down under, and I will see you tomorrow.